Okay, let's start with this. I'm coming September 14th. We just paid $15,000 security fee so that you guys would be protecting. If this goes down, it's all on you. I've already openly called, and I will continue to call, for no one who's a supporter of mine to engage in violence, even defensive violence. I want everybody to come and be entirely peaceful, okay? This is an act of nonviolent resistance. We're going there with the approval of the Berkeley administration. We have every right to be there. You have every right to be there. You have every right to attend. Okay, don't act violent, because I want the world to know, I want America to see whether the police are going to do their jobs. They charged us an arm and a leg to ensure security. Let's see if they run away and allow Antifa to have its way.
All right, with me now from the Young America's Foundation, Spencer Brown. Spencer, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Spencer, of course, when Ben Shapiro refers to how much it costs, an arm and a leg, that is being funded by your organization, the Young America's Foundation. You are the ones that are sponsoring this speech. So I want our viewers to know that right from the get-go. But let me ask you this. This $15,000 security fee, which is outrageous, by the way, and not a similar fee that was charged to other liberal speakers that came to campus. With this enormous fee, Spencer, are they guaranteeing the safety of Ben Shapiro and everybody, all conservative students or liberal students who want to come and be peaceful? Are they guaranteeing the safety of those people?
You know, for $15,000, you would hope that they could provide at least some assurances, but up till now, they have not given any guarantee that this event will be able to take place, that they will be able to maintain law and order on that campus. And I think, unfortunately, if you look at past events and what has been allowed to take place on that campus, you know, the police really has their work cut out for them as far as enforcing the rule of law and keeping these thugs from shutting down other people's free speech.
Right, so just to clarify, they have given you Berkeley administrators have given you no clarification, no reassurance that campus police would not be told to stand down in the case, perhaps the inevitable case that Antifa comes to protest this on campus. They've offered no reassurance about protecting you from these thugs who have no regard for law and order, who only want to shut down conservatives, even though they're charging you $15,000 and calling that a security fee?
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the case that we find ourselves in right now.
That is absolutely absurd to me. I mean, I guess I'm glad in a way that this is being exposed right now. But Spencer, talk to me about this latest update. So now we have a waiting list. You have a waiting list of 2,500 students. Kudos to you and Ben Shapiro, by the way. These students should want to go hear him. He's very entertaining. But now the venue that they promised you, which they charged this enormous fee for, they say for security reasons they're not going to allow all the seats to be filled, even though the capacity is something like almost 2,000. It's like 1,900 people. They say, no, you can't allow that many people in.
Yeah, I mean, it's here we go again, right? You know, Berkeley is really exposing the fact that their hypocrisy knows no bounds. Their chancellor just proclaimed this so-called free speech year, but then at the same time, the school continues to do everything in their power to shut down conservative speech, and in this case specifically, prevent conservative ideas from being heard on their campus. And so this latest situation that's unfolding happened over the weekend, where a second security assessment that apparently took place by the University Police Department has determined that only half of the seats can be allowed to be filled for this event. And that's just ridiculous when there's such a high demand for this, and especially on a campus where conservative ideas are rarely, if ever, heard. You know, this is a huge opportunity for students on that campus to hear a different point of view, but now the university is saying, nope, not this time, only half of this venue can be seated.
Right. Wait a second here. Go back to what you said. So half of these seats, they said that they did a second security analysis here, and they found that, you know, let me get the exact number. It's 1,042 seats. That's all that they're going to allow students to take up. Did you ask why? And did they give you a reason why? Like, what are they going to use these other half seats for? Are they going to be filled every other with a police officer to ensure protection from Antifa? What reason could they possibly have?
Yeah, I know the Berkeley College Republicans who we're working with to bring Ben Shapiro to that campus have been trying to get meetings with the administrators there in the police department to figure out what the rationale is behind this. Because if they think there's obviously, you know, some sort of very serious threat where they can't protect more than about 1,000 people, we would obviously like to know about that so we can adjust our plans and make sure that we are doing everything we can to allow a safe and successful event to go forward. But from what we've heard communication-wise, it's been a lot of crickets. Supposedly there's some concern about people falling off the balconies if any sort of altercation takes place in this venue. But the answer to that is just have the police there, you know, doing their job and ensuring that only people who wish to engage, as Ben Shapiro mentioned, in a peaceful demonstration of the free exchange of ideas that should take place on college campuses are allowed to get in.
Right, and you'd think at the very least, like you said, they would give you a reason. I mean, I can't believe they didn't give you a reason. Spencer, let me ask you this, and this delves into it a little bit more, but the stuff that we've seen at Berkeley in the past year has been almost unthinkable for a university that is supposed to be the beacon of free speech. I mean, we have had the police officers, the police force, and this is with all due respect to the officers who serve. I'm sure this direction is coming from the local politicians, but we've had the police force, you know, under orders to stand down unless someone's life is threatened. We saw the Antifa riots a couple weeks ago where even though a father and his son were beaten, that apparently did not qualify under these standards, these criteria that were given to police as somebody's life being in danger. We've seen all the shenanigans with you trying to book Ben Shapiro. At first, they told you no, he couldn't speak. They didn't have a venue. This was months in advance. Then they charge you $15,000 for a security fee and act like they're the ones that are doing you a favor by waiving some other arbitrary fee for that same venue. Now they're telling you you can only fill it to half capacity. Spencer, this does not sound to me like something that an administrator is doing just because he doesn't like one individual person. It's not a random, a vague sort of stifling of conservative speech. This is a planned, thought out attack on conservatives coming to campus. Do you know, or do you have any idea who is behind this?
Well, I think you're exactly right. You know, a lot of times people on the left like to talk about institutionalized bias that exists and sort of subjugates certain classes or groups of people. But in the case of Berkeley here, there's absolutely a situation where there is institutionalized anti-conservative bias, where if you're a conservative student on that campus, your rights to hold events and meet are seriously, you know, doubted. If you're trying to come to that campus as a conservative and speak, you're basically putting your life in danger and just hoping for the best whenever that event were to happen. And for the rest of the community there, you know, they're robbing them of the chance to hear a diverse point of views and any sort of ideological diversity in their education.
Right.
And so the only thing that can come from this sort of situation, when you look at what's happened over the past 6 months there at Berkeley, is just very clear, and that is that the free speech commitment that Berkeley supposedly makes only extends to liberal students and liberal causes and liberal speakers on that campus. Conservatives are just cast to the side and treated essentially as second-class citizens on that campus.